Good afternoon. I want to thank all of the candidates. Wow, what a group here. And also the panel members. We at this time are going to be conducting our endorsement interview for Las Vegas mayor. But before we get to that, I want to give a special thanks to our sponsors this afternoon, the Foreign Exchange, Stephanie Phillips, U.S. Senate candidate, Ron Quince, Congressional District #1 candidate, Richard Cherchio, North Las Vegas City Councilman, and our moderator this afternoon will be Bob Coffin. He served as Las Vegas City Councilman, Nevada State Senator, Nevada Assemblyman, and he also was an international observer at the Nicaraguan elections. So just a brief overview of how this is going to go, because we do have a big group. We're going to start by having each one of you guys will introduce yourself, why you're running for mayor, and why you're seeking our endorsement. I'll give each one of you 45 seconds to do that, and then we will begin with our questions. So at this time, Tera, why don't you go ahead and start with your 45-second. Oh, pause 1 second. At 30 seconds, you get the yellow card from me, and at 45 seconds, you get the red. I will not be rude and just stop you mid-sentence, but if you can wrap up as soon as possible, I'd greatly appreciate it. Okay, thank you. Now, Tera, go ahead.
Good evening. Thank you for having us. Happy to be here to participate. My name is Tera Anderson. I am a second-generation native of Las Vegas. I am running for mayor because I want the city of Las Vegas to be the most transparent, navigable, accessible city in the country. And I want to do away with the old adage of I know a guy and make the city consistently accessible for any community member, business owner, developer that wants to bring new, vibrant, dynamic ideas to our community. I want to ensure that the city lives up to its name and that we are a global powerhouse in diversity, in economic vibrancy, design. I've been in land development and economic development for 20 years, both in the public and private sector, within the city of Las Vegas and North Las Vegas. So I am well poised to get things done.
Good evening, gentlemen, women, veterans. My name is Jenkins. I am candidate for mayor for the city of Las Vegas. In my state capacity, I am a longtime government appointee of the Nevada Equal Rights Commission, serving for going on 12 years under now Governor Joe Lombardo. Prior to that, Governor Sisolak. Prior to that, Brian Sandoval, who appointed me in 2013. And prior to that, after law school and graduating, I was serving under Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger in legal affairs. So my history and track record in government service is very similar and parallel to what veterans do. We serve. Public service is something that you have to feel from within. And there's a big need in our city to have more public servants and lift up our veterans, make sure that we have affordable housing and access for our veterans. Thank you for your time.
My name is Shelley Berkley. I've served our state, our nation, and our city as a member of the Nevada State Assembly, on the University Board of Regents, and 7 terms in the United States House of Representatives, where I served on the Veterans Affairs Committee. I believe in this community. 4 generations of my family have called Southern Nevada, have called Las Vegas home. I think there is so much more to do, and that's why I have decided that I was going to roll up my sleeves and run for the office of Las Vegas mayor. I want this, I covet this endorsement. Veterans are very close to me, they're important to me, and I want to continue to serve in a way that will make the veterans proud of me.
Good evening. I'm Doc Walls, candidate for mayor, born and raised in Chicago, graduated Horace Mann Elementary, Chicago Vocational High School, Tuskegee University, and Illinois Institute of Technology, Chicago Kent College of Law. I'm a husband, a father, and a committed family man, but I'm also a believer. I'm the only candidate for mayor with the vision, ability, and a comprehensive plan to transform Las Vegas from just an international tourist destination into a safe and secure world-class city that's carefully designed to ensure the prosperity of every single resident and leave no one behind. As mayor, I'll keep Las Vegas as promised. That's a commitment to public safety, public education, affordable housing, senior care, full employment, balanced economic development, equal access for the disabled, and when all else fails, charity. It's important to me that I represent everyone in Las Vegas.
Good afternoon, everybody. Las Vegas City Councilman Cedric Crear. I currently represent Ward 5. I've been in council for about 6 years now. I was a 2 years planning commissioner, 12 years on the Board of Regents for the Nevada System of Higher Education. Born and raised right in this community. I live in a house that I grew up in. I have a small business owner. I worked 10 years in the gaming industry, started out dealing blackjack on graveyard, working in slots, was the director of marketing for a number of properties, and I'm a small business owner now. Done a lot in a very short period of time as councilman for Ward 5. We are making a huge difference, and we're working day in and day out to make sure that our veterans have the needs that they have, especially for workforce development, especially for improving the lives of our veterans. This is something that I want to do. This is something I need to do for the fact that I'm the most qualified candidate to be the next mayor for the city of Las Vegas, and nobody loves this city more than me. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Donna Miller, and it is a true privilege and to be here before you today. Thank you for your service. By profession, I am a nurse and first responder. I've been a nurse for 28 years. I am originally from Romania. I'm a first-generation immigrant. I made Las Vegas home for the last 25 years, and I served this community proudly in different roles, including being an owner for an air ambulance company, being in charge of the AMR and MediQuest for a handful of years, especially during crisis. I worked very closely with our government at the local level and at the state level, and I have had the opportunity and the privilege to serve as an honorary commander for Nellis Air Force Base. With that, I served as one of the leaders, civilian leaders in many of the projects that we have done to serve this community and the military and veterans as well. I do believe
I think I'll have to sit. I don't think it was at reach. Yeah, hi, my name's Eric Medlin. I've been in Las Vegas for 17 years. I'm just recently a small business owner, and this is kind of why I'm here. I own a mailbox store right in the thick of it, Maryland Parkway, Twain, Swenson, that whole area right there. We have a lot of homeless vets. They have mailboxes with us. And as luck would have it, we were thinking it's like a little house for them. They can get their mail, they can get their meds. Even it doesn't matter, homeless vet, but that's their little lifeline they have to the world. And we were thinking if we could get subsidized on these little houses, maybe we could spread this out all across the nation for little houses for vets and everybody else. So then, as luck would have it, we had this conference at UNLV, the First International Homelessness Conference. We went there and told this idea. It was like great. We talked to the VA, said, oh, what a great idea. They took our cards and they said, how many we heard back from? 0. And I got pissed. I said, you know what? I'm going to run for mayor when the chance comes, and we're going to take care of this homeless problem. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kola, and I'm running for mayor because, this is my favorite city on earth. And there's just a lot of prosperity coming over here. Oh, by the way, I'm married, with children, and Las Vegas, this is my home. Obviously, I'm not going anywhere. So I'm running for mayor because we have a lot of prosperity coming here. Our current mayor, Mayor Carolyn Goodman, she's done a fantastic job. But, we're all going to get timed out. She ran out of time. So right now, but the main issues that I have is as brilliant as Las Vegas is, we still have the on-season and the off-season. On-season, the whole city gets thrown in on and off-season. So I'm here basically to offset the off-season.
Okay, I do have one small favor to ask the candidates. I know we're we're all packed in here, but can you guys please remain seated? I know it's customary for candidates to stand up, and I understand that, but for the camera, it's playing havoc with our camera. So, okay, at this time, we're going to go ahead and start with our questions. I am only going to give 30 seconds for a response. I know that's super tight, but with the amount of people we have, if I give you 45 seconds, we're gonna be here for a long time. James Jonas, Director of Veterans and Politics. This question's for all of you. For the last 24 years, the main focus of the city of Las Vegas is to revitalize downtown. Well, there's more to Las Vegas than just downtown. So as mayor, what are you guys going to do to focus on the entire city of Las Vegas, not just downtown? And we'll go ahead and start here and work this way, please.
Okay. Of course, we have to focus more than just, downtown. So most of the attention, my opinion, is really like on the strip, and we must build the off the strip businesses, because everyone is not going to be a janitor, everyone is not going to be, like a housekeeper. So downtown Las Vegas for sure needs to be much more powerful. Basic line, we must offset the off-season. The off-season, the whole of Las Vegas going to off-season, we have to offset that off-season.
Well, I don't think we've even finished the work downtown, but I would stress maybe the east side, start building up over there. Also in between here and Summerlin, there's a lot of areas there that can be reformed. That would be basically where I would start.
We have a lot of 40-year plans, 100-year plans. I would like to see tomorrow plans. Medical district is one example. Resolving the shortage of healthcare providers is very important. Addressing homelessness and preventing homelessness, it would be one of my highest priorities.
So I'm already doing the job now. I work, half of my ward is in downtown, other part is going out to the rural areas. We're developing our health district, no doubt about it. We are diversifying our economy, bringing in new businesses every day that are going to be outside of gaming and hospitality. We have diversifying the way that we go out and create a smart city, what's called, to create technical jobs and bringing in these jobs that are going to be high-paying jobs, that are going to give you entry-level skills, that's going to give you good benefits, that's going to give you a good wage, that's going to be benefit for your family, for the community, and also for the entire city at large.
As I indicated, I'm the only candidate who can transform Las Vegas into an international city. And what that means is that we bring transnational corporations and get them to headquarter here. We develop a museum of science and industry, a museum of natural history, an art museum, an art institute. We bring in those persons who want to do business in Las Vegas and who want to build housing in Las Vegas. We have a shortage of housing here, and it's a supply and demand issue. If we're not careful, we're going to end up just like San Francisco, where poor people can't afford to live here. So my job is to find balance, economic development.
Thanks, Doc. I think the next 10 years are going to be among the most explosive and exciting in Las Vegas. And it's important that everybody that wants to share in the success that we're going to experience gets the opportunity to do that. We deal with our homeless issue, with affordable housing, with crime, and then we concentrate on economic growth and development so that every area in the city is enhanced and improved by what we are doing in the city of Las Vegas. It is that important.
I think as a mayor, you can walk and chew gum at the same time. And so you have to have collaborative partnerships and leverage those partnerships, private, for-profit, nonprofit partnerships to build and develop the city, and also focus on what the people want. And what the people want, based on your question, is they want to see more development, not just downtown. So that includes affordable housing, making sure other people have a piece of the pie, veterans, making sure they have housing. Priorities for our people that live and work here. We need to roll out the red carpet for our people like we do our guests, and that you need a mayor who's got the energy to take us the next 10, 20 years or however long the next mayor will serve.
In the recent probably 10, 15 years, the city has operated where each ward fairly operates independently at the discretion largely of the respective council people. I think we need to take a more holistic approach in how we thoughtfully and intentionally develop the city in finding highest and best use, catalyzing infrastructure that will attract relevant diversification within the respective wards. But we're looking at the city holistically rather than each respective ward trying to work its own independent plan.
Patsy Brown, Armed Forces Chamber. My question is to all of you. How do you propose to effectively address the unique challenges and requirements faced by the city's underserved veteran populations?
Whoever wants to, let's go.
I'll jump in first. Service above self is the military, and there's no greater calling. I have tremendous reverence for our veterans, but if the financial health of the city is not intact, there is no money to continue to dedicate appropriate and much needed resources to Veterans Affairs and other important services that the city should be rendering. And so the financial health and integrity of the city is my top priority. Everyone's tired of talking about Badlands, but it does have the city in financial jeopardy. That has to be addressed first.
Patsy, can you repeat the question, please?
How do you propose to effectively address the unique challenges and requirements faced by the city's underserved veteran population?
So thank you, Patsy, for repeating the question because I really want to answer it. So the underserved needs of our veteran population is that you have people who commit their life to service at the expense of maybe even sacrificing their lives, like my brother, who is a veteran, and his son, my nephew, who serves in the Army right now. And one of the challenges that I've identified by talking to my friend Bruno Voya, who's with Vets and Athletes, is that not only are we not taking care of our vets when they come back after service, they have no place to live, but it's still you're dealing with a population that wants to have dignified housing and be treated with respect, vocational training from service life to civilian life, and making sure that they have opportunities to succeed here. So we will work and do that, and we will carve out housing for our veterans, and we'll continue to do that.
When I served in Congress, I served on the Veterans Affairs Committee. Because of my relationship with the veterans and getting to know them so well, we were able to bring the VA hospital to Southern Nevada. It was the first time that our veterans were able to get the health care that not only they deserve, but they were entitled to. In addition to that, we have challenges with homeless veterans. 20% of the people living on the streets in Las Vegas are veterans, and that should be unacceptable to all of us. The remand rate in the state of Nevada is terribly high. We're the fourth highest remand rate in the entire country, and we need to ensure that our veterans get the benefits that not only they deserve, but they're entitled to.
One of the most important things to recognize is there are 202,000 veterans here in Las Vegas, and they're underrepresented in rooms where decisions are made. So we want to make certain that in our administration, we put veterans in at the highest level of our administration so they can impact the lives of others who serve like they served. And we thank you for your service. Additionally, the state legislature has reduced the amount of services and funding for a veterans program. We're going to fight day and night to make sure that that is restored.
Thank you. Every day we work with veterans to make sure they have the services that they need. The city of Las Vegas has a department that works under community services, but I want to expand that as mayor. We need to have more resources internally so that we can help those externally with whatever that may be, whether if that is housing, whether that is working on their getting their paperwork together. But more importantly, we need to make sure that veterans have opportunities to get jobs, high-paying, high-skilled jobs, make sure that their families are taken care of, make sure that our community is taken care of, and that is what is going to get them on the road to prosperity.
I believe prevention is going to be one of the most important focuses when it comes to veterans. And what I mean by that is before all the military personnel, men and women, took an oath to defend our country. And that doesn't stop when they move from the military, from active military to being a veteran. So being able to help with setting them up for success before they exit the military, and encourage programs such as Skill Bridge would be very important to me. Being able to help with employment, which in turn will help with housing, and it will help with access to care, especially mental health.
Yeah, hi, I am a vet. And as a vet, we don't really want much, but when we need something, we want it to be there fast. We don't have to wait. We don't have to jump through hoops. And that seems to be the biggest problem. Also, on the side of homelessness, we have 600,000 vets. 600 vets in Vegas, I believe, that are homeless. A lot of them for various different reasons. Like some they're on drugs because they got to calm what's going on in their head. So they would like to go to a shelter, but they have rules in shelters, so they end up not going to shelters. So we work on the mental aspect of it and the speed of their services.
So I don't believe that money alone is just going to fix the issues that our vets facing. You can dump a lot of money, but you got to do it with heart, right? You know, I'm not a vet. My brother was a vet, still a vet. So, and I know some of the issues that they're facing. As mayor, I'm going to have the vets to advise us on what the immediate need and the future of the vets, what they need. And, the best thing we can do is to listen, and oh, wait a minute, most of the government, government programs, they might have failed. Okay, I mean, they might have failed. I was just saying that the vector where they can take the most advantage to be with the VA loan. All the vet that wants to get a house can get a house.
Okay, next question, please, from the bell. We'll start here and go this way with this round of questions, please.
Good afternoon, Jeff Crampton with Veterans in Politics International. Based on the widely accepted premise that public safety is the most important element to the level of quality of life that residents enjoy, what level of support for first responders are you going to provide, and what will that look like?
We live like in a gaming city here, so the safety and security have to be extremely important to the natives and also to the visitors. And as mayor, I'm gonna hold the police department and the general public accountable. We're going to fund them heavily, and then we're going to support them, and then we're going to retrain them, and then we're going to access, like the public, they have to respect them. These guys have to go home every night to their own family, but at the same time, the public is paying the salary.
I honestly don't have an answer to that question. I would have to investigate it more. I'm not going to sit here and make up something on the fly. I just don't know. I haven't investigated enough, but thank you.
I am a first responder and have been a first responder for a number of years. I know exactly what the first responders go through when they have to respond to a call, especially from an EMS perspective. Safety is definitely important, better pay, which in turn has to do with actually working and fixing our healthcare and the reimbursement for the services we provide, and also the way we pay for the EMS services.
Thank you. Public safety is our number one priority. There's no doubt about it. I mean, currently work with 3 area commands: Downtown Area Command, Bolden Area Command, Northwest Area Command. I sit on Fiscal Affairs Committee for Metro, ensuring that we have the proper resources that are needed for our police officers to go out to protect and serve. As mayor, we're going to increase that. We're going to increase opportunities for advancement within the field of public safety. That's important as well. We have a challenge with getting people through the academies, and we're going to expand that. And so I'm working on it right now. As mayor, there's so much more I can do once I become the mayor of the city of Las Vegas.
As mayor, I'll establish irreproachable public safety services, not just in terms of the policies, practices, procedures, equipment, training, deployment, response time, and overall performance, but also in terms of making certain that the entire police and fire department, rank and file, and command, as well as civilian employees, also represent the entire breadth of our city, including our veterans. We'll make certain that people feel safe morning, noon, and night, and that they feel safe sending their families out of their homes, knowing that they have a likelihood of returning safely.
Thank you. I believe, as mayor, one should do everything possible to ensure that law enforcement has the resources and the funding that they need in order to do their job. So many veterans go into law enforcement. It is very important that not only are they well trained, which they are, but they are cared for and taken care of insofar as they can support their families. They have the training and the equipment that they need, and that they have the training for medical attention that that when I was at Toro, a CEO at Toro, we trained all 4,000 Metro officers for disaster training. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff, for your question. I believe the question was about first responders, not law enforcement, but I do respect the police and I believe in a safe city. But when you talk about public safety, you're talking about reducing the incidences of crime where the first responders have to go and attend to an immediate need of someone who is on the brink of death. So we need to make sure that we're a first-class city, that we can provide tools and services for our first responders so that they can get to the problem and they can mitigate any loss of life. That is so important for a thriving city, publicly and optically as a world-class city. If we can have F1 here and the Super Bowl here, and no problems, well, with the Super Bowl. F1 was something different, the cones. But we need to make sure that we take care of our residents here and that we can support our first responders so people don't die.
I'm terribly sorry. Would you please repeat the question?
Yes, ma'am. I have to put my eyes back on. The question was, based on the widely accepted premise that public safety is the most important element to the level of quality of life that residents enjoy, what level of support for first responders are you going to provide, and what will that look like?
Thank you. To me, without a safe and civilized society, all of our other aspirations are unachievable. So it is priority one. That does include our police force. But I also, to me, community engagement is the most important piece of this. I've been a community volunteer with Metropolitan Police Department. I think that increasing morale and support for our first responders, and increasing community engagement to where there's an heightened level of trust, there's a greater level of understanding and collaboration. We have got to start bridging these conversational divides that are happening in our country in so many facets, this being a critical one.
Coming, Matthew DeFalco, Nevada Democratic Veterans and Military Families Caucus. To save time, we can just do a yes or no. Maybe don't take all of your time unless you have a no answer to this one. Clark County Sheriff Kevin McMahill has proposed establishing a wellness center for police, fire, and medical personnel. This center aims to provide mental health support and a fitness facility for first responders to address unresolved trauma and promote overall well-being. Will you commit to supporting Sheriff McMahill's initiative to establish this wellness center and ensure its effective operation for the benefit of our police officers, firefighters, medical personnel, a significant number of whom are military veterans, and their physical and mental health? Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Matt. Yes, I will.
Absolutely. I don't think people truly appreciate how tough it is out there for our first responders and law enforcement. I applaud the sheriff for coming up with this idea, and I will fully support him and back him in this endeavor.
Yes, I will as well. We lose 22 veterans a day to suicide, and so we need to provide them more support.
Without a doubt. I've worked on fiscal affairs just as at our last meeting, asking about our budgets that we're creating about this facility and making sure we have resources in the foundation. I've traveled with Sheriff McMahill to Phoenix and Metro to San Diego, looking at what's called crisis stabilization units so that we can bring them back, about mental health for our officers and our law enforcement as well. This is something that is vitally important. When I was recently at the White House just recently, we advocated with Councilman Polinsky just for this to get funding, and with our congressional delegation to get funding for this. So 1,000% is not if, it's actually doing it already.
Without a doubt, and I salute the sheriff for being forward-thinking.
I'm stunned that this isn't already a thing. I mean, how is this not a thing already? But yes, absolutely. But I'm just stunned that we don't have this already.
Yes, I definitely will support the sheriff.
Yes, she's gonna skip. Mikey Kelly, Nevada Democratic Veterans and Military Families Caucus. The city of North Las Vegas Department of Community Services, Community Services Engagement, built and staffed with 2 veterans as a coordinator and assistant a Veterans Resource Center. The city of Las Vegas, which does have a department equivalent, Department of Neighborhood Services, has a veterans portfolio within the department with a person who's running it. God bless him, but he's not a veteran. What will you be willing, first of all, to consider building a Veterans Resource Center in the city of Las Vegas, as well as staffing it with actual veterans who've experienced in outreach and outreach?
I very much support the concept. My only hesitation to building one in the city of Las Vegas is I would hate to dilute the quality of the impact provided by the city of North Las Vegas. I think greater resource efficiency comes with collaboration. So I do think the city could, in conjunction with the city of North Las Vegas, help make that a more robust program and dedicate more services. You are absolutely correct. The city has not fully staffed what I would consider the equivalent of a veterans task force with folks who are actually veterans and deeply understanding veterans issues, and I would very much support assembling that.
Veterans know what veterans go through. Those who've served know what we go through. Not staffing a resource center with folks who understand the challenges, transition, the mental impact of becoming a civilian again is just, it doesn't make sense to me. And so one of the things is we're going to have common sense leadership in Las Vegas. And yes, we will have a resource center. All major cities do. Why don't we? We're Las Vegas. Again, we have F1 here, we have the Super Bowl here, but we don't have a dedicated location for our veterans to go to for emotional support, for counseling, for on-the-job training. Yes.
When I was in Congress, I brought the Veterans Hospital to Southern Nevada with the same zeal and enthusiasm. I can promise you, without fear of contradiction, that we will have a Veterans Resource Center. It is important, and it needs to be manned by veterans who know what their fellow veterans are going through and what resources they need and what services we should provide.
One of the most important things is proximity. So I will ensure that we have a decentralized resource center attitude. So that's resource centers in every neighborhood so that people can access those things immediately upon need. We also have to make certain that we have 24/7 access to mental health services for those persons who are thinking about harming themselves or harming another individual. It's so important that we protect lives through this process, but veterans have to be at the lead.
As I mentioned earlier, we do need to expand our resources that we have for veterans. There's not about it. Greg is doing a great job, but there's a lot much more we need to be doing. I'm actually working on Veterans Memorial Parkway, Rachel's right on Bonanza, to do something just like that in Ward 5. And so, yes, is to answer your question. Yes, there's a lot more we can do, and there's not about it when I'm mayor. We're going to just do that. We have to ensure that we have what's called peer-to-peer, whether that's homelessness, whether that's mental health issues, but also vet-to-vet, peer-to-peer, to know what you've gone through. And that's the most effective way, whether that is dealing with homelessness, whether it's mental health issues or what have you. Peer-to-peer. Thank you.
A lot of our issues don't know boundaries. So we have to work together as a community to really effectively find the right solutions and apply them. The answer is yes. A veteran would know better than anybody else what a veteran goes through. So there is no replacement for that knowledge and experience. And my third point would be that we have resources in this community already that many of our community members do not know about them. So making sure that we go above and beyond to let the community know about those resources would be definitely part of my plan.
The answer is yes, but this is low-hanging fruit. How is this not being done already? I'm dumbfounded. I'm just like, what have our politicians been doing for all these years? This is seriously easy stuff, people. So yeah, of course I'm for it. Thank you.
Yes, of course we're going to have a Veteran Resource Center, and I just really believe in education for the veterans. I don't believe that money alone, just throwing money at it, can really fix it, and the veterans will have to man those facilities. They know what the other veterans are going through.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking this time with us today. The word is going to be about access, not just for veterans, but for the constituency of this town, for those who may not have the monetary means to have an automobile. We need a better public transportation system here. The buses aren't cutting it. We need a light rail system. I don't want to hear about how much it costs because we can find the money. We have casinos everywhere. We're on the verge of being a world-class city. We're about to get a professional baseball team. We're about to get an NBA team. We need public transportation. What are you going to be willing to push? How are we going to do it? Where do we get funding? Talk to me.
Okay, let's go ahead and we'll start with Kola and work this way for this question.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I believe that we must have a more adequate transportation system. Well, we have to bring in monorail. That also takes away from most of the traffic on the street. I feel that is the way to go into the railroad, to go into the monorail system, and whatever that looks like, once we're mayor, then we can work that out. Yes, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I know there was a proposal that was supposed to be a light rail from down Maryland Parkway. If you want politicians to vote for this quickly, have them ride that bus 109 on Maryland Parkway all the way to the airport. I'll tell you, that will enlighten them really quickly. So, yes. And as far as finding funding, of course, you'd have to investigate that. I can't give anything off the fly. But, yes, I would find funds to do that because I think it's a great idea.
Transportation is definitely very, very important. I spent 25 years as a medical transport executive. So it's not just when it comes to the medical industry, but to anything. But speaking from a medical industry, there are certain things that building better transportation and a better infrastructure is definitely important for a city that's growing the way we are growing. Accessing certain services virtually and accessing certain services via telemedicine or whatever, it's also very important. And as far as the funding goes, there's a lot of money that are in this town that we are utilizing in different ways. I would definitely, part of my first few days in the office would be to look at the budget and see where are we spending money on perhaps programs that may not bring the results that we are hoping for.
Transportation is important. Connectivity, how do you get people from point A to point B and to get them access to the resources is really what we're talking about. I work with RTC to create just that, about connectivity. We're expanding that. How do we get people not relying upon cars, alternative means of transportation? If you look at the work we're doing with the boring company, we are drilling boreholes right now. We're going to expand that, which is going to get people from point A to point B through the tunnel system that we have. I can see us expanding the Bright Line that's happening. They receive billions of dollars from the federal government for that Bright Line. It's going to get us from California to Las Vegas. But here, we're working day to day to diversify our transportation. But that's a part of it.
The first thing that's important to know is that you can't balance the budget of an RTC, off of the fare box. Many of those buses are empty at night, so we're not dependent upon that. We have to find a way to ensure that people who are indigenous to Las Vegas, I'm talking about Las Vegas residents, not the tourists and others, can ride the buses for free. That's critical and important because otherwise we overpopulate and overcrowd our highways, and we can only expand I-15 so much before we're exhausted. So we have to make...
Thanks, Doc. Gary, I couldn't agree with you more. The time has come for this world-class city for tourists to become a world-class city for its residents, and having a great transportation system is so fundamentally important to the future of Las Vegas. I support it completely, and I will work to ensure that the city of Las Vegas has a world-class transportation center.
Thank you, Gary. I believe in that too. I think that we are all in agreement that this is a world-class city and that we should have transportation. But let's talk about veterans, because this is about you all and getting to jobs and making sure you can make appointments or go to the park or have leisure time, because sometimes a car is not affordable. So we need to make sure that you guys have money, and that would be sitting with the city manager and looking at the budget and see how we can help collaborate with RTC to get special shuttles or create programs where we can have vets, drive vets, employ them, shuttle around, give jobs. It's like a ride share, but for veterans. These are collaborative, innovative, outside of the box things that people do in Shanghai and other countries and cities, and we can do it here. And you have my word.
Kara's absolutely correct. The job diversification and economic vitality is first and foremost, so that people can afford to live the life that they want. But I also think that our elected leaders have Councilman Crear referenced the Bright Line. You have a train from Cucamonga to Las Vegas where you're going to have to get off after spending $400 and rent a car. We have been fighting for infrastructure for a light rail on Maryland Parkway, a light rail on Charleston for the better part of 15 years, and we haven't been able to come up with the $30 billion that is now being carved into a train. And the question is, who's going to ride it? So we need leadership that will speak truth to power, properly look at the business case for some of our infrastructure projects and transportation projects like the Bright Line, and implement projects that make sense and enhance people's quality of life. Not just looks good in the newspaper.
Okay, thank you. Just a personal note, I just really want to commend all of you for running for Las Vegas City Mayor. I mean, you guys are running for the lead job of the entertainment capital of the world. You guys all deserve a round of applause. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to give each of you, I know this goes fast. I'm going to give each of you 30 seconds. Do me a favor, just make sure you guys know what to do. You guys have been running for office. So just give your point of contact and information so people can get a hold of you and become part of your campaign and why you're the best person for this job. Tera, we'll go ahead and start with you and we'll work that way, please.
Tera Anderson. My website is teraanderson4lasvegas.com. My cell phone is 702-498-9963. When I say I will be the most accessible mayor in the country, I mean it. And I'm running because I want Las Vegas to be an equal opportunity for us to thrive and be as diverse and as vibrant as our city is. And that includes economic vitality. That includes smart governance where we can follow a dollar. We're responsible stewards of taxpayer dollars, and we're investing in projects that enhance the quality of life for the people who live here. So I very much appreciate your time.
Thank you. Kara Jenkins, KJ. Some people can't say Kara. KJ is fine. I'm running for mayor because I think that I actually possess the qualities of a leadership that is now. It is the new Las Vegas. However, you can understand that this is about veterans. And so one of the things that I want to say, I know my time is up. I have family members that have served. And one of the things that's so valuable is that they were able to come home. And so we need to make sure that as we're thinking future forward and we're going to make this the world-class city, or we're going to bring this and we're going to, that we don't forget our residents and our locals and we don't forget our veterans, and you have access to me always. That is my promise to you. Thanks, everybody.
I've devoted a lifetime to public service in this community. There are 4 generations of my family that have called Las Vegas home. I want to ensure that over the next 10 years, this is going to be a community that I'm going to be proud and happy that my grandchildren live in. There are many things to be done dealing with the homeless issue, affordable housing, crime, economic growth and development, transportation issues, art, technology, so much is left to do, and I am running because there is more to do, and I am fully prepared and ready on day one to do it. And I thank you all so much for hosting us and having us here today. It has been truly informative, at least for me, and I suspect for all of my colleagues on the stage as well. Thank you.
I'm Doc Walls. For years, I served as the top assistant to Chicago's Mayor, Harold Washington. I also served as national political director to Jesse Jackson. In all of those capacities, I had the pleasure of working with veterans and helping to make a difference in their lives. As mayor, I'll establish irreproachable public safety services, develop and efficiently maintain our public infrastructure, enrich the Aging and Disability Services Division to ensure the health and well-being of our senior citizens, provide a superior public school education for each and every individual child. Through public initiatives, private initiatives, and comprehensive tax reform, I'll stimulate the local economy to foster full employment. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you all for having us. I'm Cedric Crear. You can find me at cedriccrear.com. Born and raised right here in Las Vegas. I live right down the street, live in the house that I grew up in, actually. No one is going to be a better global ambassador than me for the city of Las Vegas. Nobody is more prepared to be the city, to be the next mayor for the city of Las Vegas. Nobody has as much ground experience that I have in working at City Hall. 6 years on city council, 2 years on the planning commission, 12 years on the board of regents. Nobody loves this city more than me. And I hope you will come out and support us. CedricCrear.com. Thank you.
Thank you for the inclusion, and thank you for your service once again. My website is Donna Miller. formayor.com. Miller for Mayor, if you research that, it's easy to find all my information online. I'm running for mayor because I believe it's the time for the city to be run by a person who puts service above self, just like you did. And I'm running for mayor because I believe it's time for a businesswoman and a community leader that has been tested and proven over the years to lead the city into the next chapter.
But before I sat down tonight, I wasn't even sure if I was qualified to be mayor. But once I realized that common sense is not being playing into any of this in politics, I think I've got a lot of common sense. So vote for me, Eric, for mayor, the number 4. I've got common sense in spades. Thank you.
So Again, my name is Kola, and you can reach us Kola for Mayor 2024 at gmail.com. I'm running for mayor because, what I really brings in is the opportunity of a lifetime, opportunity for everyone to be the best that they can be. And everyone in Las Vegas deserves to have that opportunity. And thank you very much.
Okay, I want to, at this time, again, I want to thank the candidates again. I want to thank the panel members. This has been a long day, and I thank you guys very much for having your questions prepared. And I also, a special thank you to our sponsors for today's event, the Foreign Exchange, Stephanie Phillips, U.S. Senate candidate, Ron Quince, Congressional District number 1 candidate, Richard Cherchio, North Las Vegas City Councilman. With that concludes our endorsement interview for Las Vegas City Mayor. Everybody have a good night and God bless.